do the work in a land of dryness. Like this land is a mountain range when it comes to bringing the truth, because our people don't want to hear because they've been introduced to everything and they're used to the Christianity form of things. So we're coming here with a brand new, fresh outlook to people that's been totally dismayed with Gentiles' understanding. So he put the strongest sheep in the most driest areas, right? That's why we're here. That's why we're here to grow the body. So without any further ado, let's get to the lesson, because we're already 30 minutes behind. So, oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, 1 second. Yes.
Casting out serpents, are we prepared? In a world where sin reigns supreme and multitudes are compromised, we have been called to task to be able to battle in the spirit against the unseen powers and control our world. Are we preparing? Are our views of survival in line with those views of desperation that Christ and the prophets of the past had while doing the ministry? Is it possible that we are so conditioned to sin and the mentalities of this world that we have rendered ourselves powerless against the demons that walk among us? Are we even paying attention anymore? If met by demons, are we prepared to cast them out? They are manifesting themselves all over the earth, and the war started long ago. So, what exactly are we waiting for? Today, we will address the deception we are still under and how to get away from it. We will also address how we cast out demons with authority in our own lives as well as the lives of others if met by what we call today's paranormal activity. And our first scriptures are going to be Genesis 6 and 1.
Yes, go ahead. I'm quiet now whenever you're ready.
This is
Good.
Testing. All right. No.
this is the. You see that?
I don't think that Mike likes you.
Yeah.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 6, verse 1. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, verse 2, that the sons of the Most High saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. Verse 3, and the Most High said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. Verse 4, there were giants in the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of the Most High came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. Verse 5, and the Most High saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Verse 6, and it repented the Most High that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart.
Right. When he's saying he's not repenting like he made a sin, it's just it grieved him that he made men and they turned out to be so wicked. Because he said men continually be wicked. What he's saying is he did different things to the earth before he caused the earth to flood. He flooded, the Euphrates River? No, he flooded the Euphrates or the Nile River, if I'm not mistaken, to show men their wickedness. The Most High brought a famine to continue to show men wickedness, but they continue to be wicked in their ways. So he's like, I'm doing these things to show you to straighten up, and they won't. So it grieved him that he made men and they turned out to be so easily deceived to turn out to be wicked men and to be turned away or led astray by these fallen angels of Lucifer. Go ahead, offer them quiet now.
Verse 7, and the Most High said, I will destroy man whom I have created, from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air. For it repented me that I have made them.
It grieved him that he had made us. Go ahead.
Verse 8, but Noah found grace in the eyes of the Most High. Verse 9, these are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations. And Noah walked with the Most High. Verse 10, and Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Verse 11, and the earth also was corrupt before the Most High, and the earth was filled with violence. Verse 12, and the Most High looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt. For all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth.
Right. Meaning all flesh was operating with these giants and fallen angels. They all were playing what you would call a scientific level of splicing animals. Men mixing with the angels, mixing with the animals. See, the same scientific things that you consider today through NASA and private entities is the same witchcraft and magic they were doing before the flood. There's nothing new underneath the sun. So what you call science today was witchcraft and magic for them back then. The angels taught them how to split, how to mix and split the herbs and the drugs and gunpowder and how to split the atom and how to go into the heavens. That was taught to men. But to them, that was power. To us, it's an abomination. All right? That's the end of that. That's 12. Yes. All right? Let's go into Enoch. And we're going to do Enoch chapter 15, verse 8. Okay. So that's it. Yes.
That's my real Enoch.
Mm-hmm. Chapter 15. It should be the same.
Brother E.
Yes, chapter 15, verse 8. And now in the giants? All right, excellent.
This is the book of Enoch, chapter 15, verse 8. And now the giants who are produced from the spirits and flesh shall be called evil spirits on the earth. Verse 9, and shall live on the earth. Evil spirits have come out from their bodies, because they are born from men and from the holy watchers. Their beginning is of Salakia. Their beginning is of primal origin. Verse 10, they shall be evil spirits on earth, and evil spirits shall they be called, spirits of the evil ones. As the spirits of heaven, in heaven shall be their dwelling. But as for the spirits of the earth, which were born of the earth, on the earth shall be their dwelling.
So what it's saying is the angels will dwell in the heavens, and everybody that comes to the earth will dwell on earth. Even after you die, you don't go to heaven, you stay on earth till Christ returns. Because if everybody dying went to heaven, who is Christ coming to get? What souls are going to rise when Christ returns? That's how you know the Christian doctrine is just so backwards, they don't even know what they're preaching. The dead in Christ going to rise, but when you die, you go to heaven. Hold on, what we doing here? See, that's how you know what you're doing is right, because what we understand, we know to be true. It makes sense. When I leave this body, I go to the center of the earth. And if I walk righteousness, I will be in the bosom of Abraham, protected. But if I was unrighteous, I'm going to a place of torment and torture. See? Because, you know, if there's a hell, how's everybody dying going to heaven? Doesn't even make sense. And that's why their doctrine is backwards. All right? Let's go into the next chapter with that. It's chapter what? 16?
Verse 16?
Yes, 16. 16 and 1.
Oh, 16.
Yes,
Verse, chapter 16, verse 1. And at the death of the giant, spirits will go out and shall destroy without incurring judgment. Coming from their bodies, their flesh shall be destroyed until the day of the consummation. The great judgment in which the age shall be consummated over the watchers and the godless and shall be wholly consummated. Verse 2, and now as to the watchers who have sent you to intercede for them who had been in heaven before. Verse 3, say to them, ye were in heaven, but all the mysteries of heaven had not been revealed to you.
Right, so everything that's going on, there's information that even the angels aren't privy to. And if you read the book of Enoch, Enoch is asking for specific mysteries to be answered to him. And some they can answer, and some they can't. Now, Michael and Gabriel are on a high level, so there's certain mysteries that's known to them. But even Christ understands that there's things even not revealed to him. He said, I don't know what day I'm coming back. Only the Father knows what day he's going to send me. So there's information that's not privy to every man. And because the angels would boast up in knowledge that they thought they had, they weren't even clear on all the information themselves. Because they're fellow servants too. And each angel is given a job to function in. That's it. That's what they're given. Right? So there's going to be mysteries and understandings that they can't do. Like none of the angels, including Satan, know how to create life. They can only take life that's already existing and mix it or splice it together. See? So there's going to be information that you're not going to be privy to. That's why faith is a big chunk of what you believe. Only by faith can you please the Most High. By believing what you've been given. Because a lot of stuff we can't prove even if we try to. But I believe that the promise of Abraham was given. I don't need for the nations to concern me with or to prove that to me. Because I can look at my own walk and my own life and see my ups and downs and link it to what would happen to Abraham's descendants if they are disobedient or if they walk in righteousness. And I fit the pattern on either side. If I'm disobedient, I fit the pattern. And if I walk righteously, I fit the pattern. So I don't need another nation to confirm what was given to me. We were speaking about this last night. This is silly. Why would I go to the Gentiles to teach me about the Israelite God? This is an Israelite thing. I don't need to go to the Gentiles to confer one way or the other. Because the Bible tells me you are of your father, the devil. So you're never going to really tell me the truth. You know, I was privy to watch the other night. One of the brothers sent me a YouTube video of Polite going against the Jewish guy that said we were Israelites. He actually made that announcement. Oh, that was you, Brother Rich, right? He made the announcement that we were Israelites, but when it came down to the debate, he went back to, I have no clue who Israel is. It could be anybody. And they got, well, hold on, brother. We got you on video saying we're the children of Israel. Now you're going backwards on it. What's going on? And Polite said, listen, brother. He tried to hug Brother Polite. Brother Polite, like, I'm not hugging you, brother, till you tell the truth. We can shake hands, but I'm not hugging you till you come with the truth. See? And that meant because you can see his face change from, you can tell when they get upset, there's a change in their complex. But it was just funny because Polite, like, I don't believe in your God one way or the other. But these brothers in the ghetto are reading your book, proving that they're Israelites concerning your book. And you guys are sitting back like y'all have no clue where they're getting this from. And I like how he approached me. Even though I'm not an Israelite, I don't subscribe to it. But in this book that you've given everybody, they seeing some things that belong to them. Right. He's right. He's not an Egyptologist, right? But he said, I don't believe in your God whatsoever. But in your book that you're giving these people in the ghetto, they're reading who they say they are. So he's like, why are you acting like you don't see what they're seeing in the same book that you're working in also? And he's saying, and if your book is true, why you're not manifesting as Jewish people? So y'all gotta watch it. Polite is an idiot. Don't get me backwards. But the way he was attacking that Jewish guy, it made all the sense in the world. But I don't want to harp on that. Go ahead, brother.
This is the middle of verse 3.
Yes, sir.
And you knew the worthless ones, and these in the hardness of your hearts you have made known to the women, and through these mysteries women and men work much evil on earth.
Right, so the angels came down, the watchers, and taught men mystery and witchcraft. Right, and different things like that. So when they worked it together, men and women did much evil. So it was through their science and information they were able to make dinosaurs. Split these animals and mix them together. See, the Most High made each animal of his own kind. It was the angels that taught men how to merge these animals together to get hybrid creatures. That's why the Most High had to flood the earth, because of these giants that came from the mixing of men and angels, and the technology they were able to now create a different type of creature to destroy all mankind. Remember, Satan has a problem with everybody. He's not just on black people. Yes, we will be the first people he will attack, But Satan is going to destroy all flesh. Because Satan wants to blow the earth open to free the angels that are chained in darkness in Hades. So he can prepare for that oncoming battle. That's why they have the harp system, to open up windows into space and time to try to free what you would call titans or the fallen angels or the watchers for a battle. All right? Let's go into, all right, yes, officer.
And like Deacon was saying, like the dinosaurs, even the scientists say that they're more bird than lizard. So you can tell it's a certain amount of splicing, because like the term raptor actually means bird of prey. They walk more like a bird than a lizard. So basically that's a case of where you take a lizard and some form of bird, maybe an eagle or something, splice them together, and now you got a dinosaur.
Exactly. And what they would do is they would take the gigantic size that come out of the sea creatures and then mix them with the land creatures. And let that gigantism grow within these serpent-type creatures. You understand what I'm saying? Because you can look at the Tyrannosaurus Rex and see a Gila monster and part of a bird with the gigantic size of another creature. Now you have a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Then you also, what's the big one that eats none but plants? Got the long neck and a long tail.
Brontosaurus.
Right, you can see a mixture of that with that elephant and aardvark with the giraffe. See, all these animals are being spliced together to make these creatures to destroy mankind. These creatures were eating us in these days. See, so the Most High had to bring a flood to destroy these creatures. All right, Jubilees, yes sir, chapter 6 and 1. You ready, quiet now? I'll say Salaki commentary, yes sir.
So because of our sins, which caused us to be compromised with angels, our offsprings were made into a new creation of perversity, which now haunts us until this day and continues to help destroy us. Our own selfish desires have destroyed this world, and the plague of demons which operate behind the scenes in our lives are really ours to combat. They never get tired, just like our addictions, because they are there helping to fuel our addictions and remain charged up through our active participation in sin. How do they destroy? So we're going to go to Jubilees 10 and 1.
Yes.
This is the book of Jubilees, chapter 10,
No, go ahead.
verse 1.
Well, and before we go into it, I want you to understand that these demons, first before they operate with you, they get you emotionally riled up. They start with your emotions first and foremost. Okay. So we have to make sure that we control our emotional state of mind. We have to. That's why the Most High said, I'm going to use the men, because our emotions are used to be not easily manipulated. Nowadays, that's why we like, hey brother, we men. We got to operate as men. I know me and Brother E, we're a little soft-hearted, but we got to operate as men, because 2 plus 2 is 4. And the Most High wants men to operate in facts, figures, and to be strong and a stiff upper lip. We have to be that, because you are strong as your weakest link. And if the men are the weak link, because that has transpired. The Bible said there shall come a time where the woman shall surpass the man. We're in that time. Women have the power. Yes, all this metrosexual and homo. Listen, you don't think skinny jeans was an attack on our manhood? How you gonna be a man in front of your wife and y'all jeans the same size? Get the kitchen clean. Ain't those my pants you got on? To be a man, we got to stand and be men. There's a picture with the GOCC where there's men standing there in suits, and then there's 2 rappers standing there with no shirt on and skinny jeans sagging, and it says, what happened? I remember when men left the house, even if you were going on a march, they would have on church shoes, a tie, a full suit. There's 110 degrees outside. Man, most brothers don't even know how to tie a tie. There's a brother that came to our church. He like, Greg, can you tie my tie? I mean, not the church, to the barbershop. Greg, can you tie a tie? I'm like, yeah. I grew up in church. My daddy made sure. That's one of the first things I learned, even going to church, was how to tie a tie. Man, these cats came and buttoned up their shirt in line. Nowadays, let alone tie a tie. Those were the things that was in. One thing my dad made sure I had as a young man, a watch and a wallet. I grew up with my homeboys, they can't keep up with nothing. They don't have watches, they don't have wallets, they don't have nothing. So every time they want to do something, they got to go to, Mama, you still got my ID? Mama, you got my birth certificate? Y'all know this. I got everything I need for me to be a man. When I left my daddy's house, here's your birth certificate. I always kept my own social security card. I had a driver's license because I had a wallet. So when I left his house, I didn't, Dad, you got my this? No, boy, you got it. You should have it. If you ain't got your high school diploma and your birth certificate, and you got to call your mama, get yourself together. It makes you a man. And those are small things. You understand? Those are small things. But that came with me having a father. That came with me having somebody that cared for my well-being. Our mothers do, and they try their best. But those small little things that made me a man over my friends. So when I say I went somewhere and I wanted to apply for a job, hey, I had everything I needed right there. I didn't have to wait to go get my ID, a driver's license, or whatever else I needed. But without further ado, Jubilees 10 and 1.
Verse 1. In the third week of this Jubilee, the unclean demons began to lead astray the children of the sons of Noah, and to make them sin, and to destroy them. Verse 2. The sons of Noah came to Noah their father, and they told him about the demons that were leading astray and blinding and slaying his sons. Verse 3. And he prayed before the Most High his power, and said, God of the spirits of all flesh, who have shown mercy to me, and have spared me and my sons from the waters of the flood, and have not caused me to die as you did the sons of perdition. For your grace has been great toward me, and great has been your mercy to my soul. Let your grace be lifted up on my sons, and do not let the wicked spirits rule over them, or they will destroy them from the earth. Verse 4. But bless me and my sons, so that we may increase and multiply and replenish the earth. Verse 5. You know how your watchers, the fathers of these spirits, acted in my day. And as for these spirits which are living, imprison them and hold them fast in the place of condemnation, and let them not bring destruction on the sons of your servant, my power. For these are like cancer, and are created in order to destroy.
Right, these spirits causes cancer and destroy the body when you open yourself up to sin. The wages of sin is death. Do what? Disease, cancer, destruction. Go ahead.
Verse 6. Let them not rule over the spirits of the living, for you alone can exercise dominion over them. And let them not have power over the sons of the righteous, from now and forever. Verse 7. And the Most High, our power, commanded us angels to bind all of them. Verse 8. The chief of the spirits, Mastema, came and said, Lord, Creator, let some of them remain before me, and let them listen to my voice, and do all that I shall say to them. For if some of them are not left to me, I shall not be able to execute the power of my will on the sons of men.
Now, Mastema is Satan. Satan is asking for the Most High, hey, leave a tenth of them for me so I can do what I need to do. Because men are going to continuously be wicked. So leave me a tenth so I can operate and do what you said I'm allowed to do for a time. If you're going to give me power to rule over the earth before my judgment, I need a tenth of them to be left behind. And the tenth he left behind are the mild demons and spirits. The ones that he chained up in darkness are just lunatics, totally out of their mind, totally just about destruction and depravity. Right, they're not subtle by no means. And they're going to free these spirits. The Bible says a pit is going to open up from heaven, and smoke is going to come. And locusts is going to come out with faces of men and breastplates. Those are the spirits that are going to be freed through the harp system. So if you take the mark of the beast, are operating openly with sin, you will be a host for these demons. Guaranteed. Go ahead.
For these are for corruption and leading astray before my judgment. For great is the wickedness of the sons of men. Verse 9, he said, let 1/10 of them remain before him, and let 9/10 of them descend into the place of condemnation. Verse 10, he commanded one of us to teach Noah medicines, for he knew that they would not walk in uprightness.
Now, Elder Ricard teaches us, that's why I quote him, because I don't know for personally myself. He says the Vatican has this book, and through former key, they use the medicine that will heal you, but they also put a poison up in it also. So even though these medicines, they do work on that level, there's always a cutting agent in there to make you sick. So if you take something for your stomach, it's going to make your head hurt. Right? If you take something for your eyes, it's going to make your fingers lock up. There's always going to be a side effect. With this, if we had this book, we will be able to cast out these spirits through righteous eating. And that's why there's a dietary law that if we keep in place, these spirits won't dwell with us. Go ahead, officer. I'm sorry, Salaki. Why not?
Nor strive in righteousness. Verse 11, we did according to all his words. All the malignant evil ones we bound in the place of condemnation, and 1/10 part of them we left that they might be subject in the presence of Satan on the earth. Verse 12, we explained to Noah all the medicines of their diseases, together with their seductions, how he might heal them with herbs of the earth.
The herbs of the earth is medicine. See, the herbs of the earth shall be meat. See, meat is just not flesh. Meat is the herbs of the earth. And when you eat proper herbs and continue them in your body, you can cure the body from anything. Nothing is uncurable. Imagine if we had that book. Imagine how much healthier we would. No, we'd still be just as sick as possible. Because even now, I'm still chewing aspartame. I try to stay away from the aspartame, but it's so good when it comes in juicy fruit gum. I mean, it's... those Snickers be getting you, man. You hungry in a Snicker? Right, yeah, he right. I'm always bent over with my little stomach, Sister Tanya. So, but yes, if we had that book, how much better off we'd be. Why not?
Verse 13, Noah wrote down all things in a book as we instructed him concerning every kind of medicine. Thus, the evil spirits were precluded from hurting the sons of Noah.
Man, wouldn't that be beautiful if you could cast out these demons with a salad? Oh man, I gotta eat a salad, we good.
That's still what it
I know we still be putting demon in the salad and casting out one and putting another one in. Because ain't nobody, man, you know how hard it is to get black people not to eat pork? It is hard to get them to understand that it's not a meat that you should be eating. And I'm like, if you eat pork, you'll eat a gorilla. No, I ain't gonna eat no gorilla. Well, what's the difference? They're both unclean animals. You ain't supposed to be eating either. My people. Officer?
Thank you. Noah, as a righteous man, prayed for the deliverance of man from the attacks that they were under with these demonic spirits. He prayed that the demons would no longer rule over the sons of men. It is our own actions in the earth that allow these demons to rule over us as we continue to be plagued with all manner of disease. We must take back our authority instead of giving it over to the perverse creation.
Exactly. We got to take it back. And we take it back by eating properly, by walking properly, by keeping the commandments of the Most High. You can't just eat what's good and think it's going to be okay. You must be walking the walk plus the dietary law. One without the other, faith without works is dead. So that takes both of those to operate righteously with the Most High. If we're going to operate and be healthy people, it must come with diet and exercise and restraint and discipline. All that works together. Because if we chaotic with what we eat, then we're going to be chaotic with our health care. I mean, it isn't going to be what it is. So we have to make sure, yeah, it looks good and it smells good and I might be hungry, but grab an apple. You know, banana. I'm finna get on that hummus with Brother Kirk because he gave me some hummus. That's what you gave me? And he made his own flatbread. I'm like, because everybody told me, oh, hummus is nasty. So you just assume, all right, I'll never eat the hummus. Right? And Brother Kirk came with some on a holy day, man. I'm like, hey, take this, I'm gonna eat your food, bro. Because, you know, Brother Kirk don't eat nothing. He like a bird. So I'm like, man, take your food if I eat your food, you know what I'm saying? Because I eat meat, so I'm not going to be even embarrassed. The Bible told me, judge not. But I'm going to cut back on that red meat, ain't we, Brother Tony? We're going to leave that red meat alone. Now, I'm going to sneak every once in a while and get a burger here and a taco here, but every time we go to work, I'm going to be eating. All right. Oh, commentary? No, okay, all right, yes. All right. St. John, no, 1 John. Is it 1 John? Okay, just John, all right. St. John 8:31. Amen, we have it? All right, find out when you're ready.
This is the book of John, chapter 8, verse 31. Then said Yeshua to those Jews which believed on him, if ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. Verse 32, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Verse 33, they answered him, we be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye shall be made free? Verse 34, Yeshua answered them, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. Verse 35, and the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the Son abideth forever. Verse 36, if the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed. Verse 37, I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me because my word have no place in you. Verse 38, I speak that which I have seen with my Father, and ye do that which ye have seen with your father. Verse 39, they answered and said unto him, Abraham is our father. Yeshua saith unto them, if ye were Abraham's children, ye would do the works of Abraham. Verse 40, but now ye seek to kill me, a man that have told you the truth, which I have heard of the Most High. This did not Abraham. Verse 41, ye do the deeds of your father. Then said they to him, we be not born of fornication. We have one Father, even the Most High. Verse 42, Yeshua said unto them, if the Most High were your Father, ye would love me, for I proceeded forth and came from the Most High. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me. Verse 43, why do ye not understand my speech, even because ye cannot hear my word? Verse 44, ye are the lust of your father ye will do.
And that's what Brother Polite was saying to the Jewish brother, that if y'all supposed to be God's people, and y'all in this position of economical power, why is the ghettos totally destroyed? Huh? You know that your forefather is rich because of the owning of the slave ships and the ports that came in and all these different things. How can the people that suffer from the Holocaust turn around and enslave and make profit off people's slavery? And then sit back and act like they have no recourse to helping these people they help had a hand in their destruction. Polite put it right on the table with the brother. I don't see color. Yeah, they never see color when it comes to finances. Ain't that funny?
Because they got all the finance.
Yeah, they got all the finance. They never see color when it comes to when we at the bank and trying to get a loan. And they don't see color. But one color you ain't gonna get in that bank is green. You're gonna go in with the same money you went in. That's why I don't trust it. The banking system, y'all, was a scam from the beginning. It was a scam. Satan set it up so, okay, yeah, we're gonna come up with money, but we're gonna keep it all and then give it to them as we see fit. Go try to cash a check for over $5,000. They all come back tomorrow. We'll give you $200-300 today, and then once we clear it through Massa, then we'll give you the rest. I thought that was my money. No, They tell you that's their money. That's why they put in God we trust. Their God is controlling their finances, and they'll disperse it to you as they see fit. I don't need nobody to watch my money. I don't have much of it, so I can watch it well. I ain't got a lot of money. I can watch all my money. My money travels with me in my pockets. I ain't got nothing extra. This is what I'm dealing with. Why do I need to put it? Like, who needs $8 in a bank account? Who's doing that? Anybody? It costs $8 to get $8 out. So when you take your $8, you $8 in the hole. That's financial slavery. Satan said debt is slavery, y'all. When you operate with these banks, you instantly go into debt. When you got money in your pocket, do you not know you're a slave? $5 to make a penny. $5 to make a penny. How is that economically sound? And that's just to make it. That's not housing it, protecting it, moving it, employees to give it to you. So at the end of the day, a penny costs what, $10 to $15? But it's only worth a cent? That's economically silly. Right, they're buying it from the Federal Reserve because you in debt to the Bankers of England. Interest. Plus, when you pay your taxes, it don't go to Donald Trump's house. That goes to the Bankers of England, and they distribute you back a refund. That's against your Constitution. No outside entity should control finances for the United States. Let you know that this was a corporation from its inception, and banking is a scam. But everybody, hey, you have to work within the system to receive the benefits of the system. But hey, you're not getting my money. If you want my money, you're going to take it out my cold, dead hands. If that's the case. See, so I'm not telling you to take your money out your bank because everybody needs direct deposit, get their money quicker, pay bills quicker so you ain't got to run all the way across town. But me, myself, if I had a bank account, which I don't, it would only be enough to pay exactly what I need paid. Everything else would be out. Because you know what happened on the Great Depression? They closed the banks. They locked the doors. You couldn't get your money. Next verse.
He was a murderer from the beginning.
From the beginning.
And abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar, and the father of it. Verse 45. And because I tell you the truth, ye believe me not. Verse 46.
That's fine right there, officer.
Yes, sir. We must understand that if we continue in sin, we are servants to the spirits that Satan and the other rebellious angels brought forth in the earth. He was their father, and we in turn become children of the devil, being raised by his children in sin. This means we are complicit in our own destruction and really are spokespeople for Satan's agenda. That's why most people don't want to stand for the truth. They are compromised with sin and many hurtful lusts. We also are compromised. Are we in a secret like the children of the devil? Let's look at a problem, one of many, which may be an indicator of whether we struggle in secret and need some self-examination. So we have a Wikipedia.org on sleep paralysis.
Yeah, did you pull that up, Brother E, or did we? All right, excellent. I guess we just read it, or does it play? Oh, this is definition.
Sleep paralysis is when, during awaking or falling asleep, one is aware but unable to move. During an episode, one may hear, feel, and see things that are not there. Often results in fear. Episodes generally last less than a couple of minutes. It may occur in a single episode or be reoccurrent. The condition may occur in those who are otherwise healthy, those with narcolepsy, or may run in families as a result of the specific genetic changes. The condition can be triggered by sleep deprivation, psychological stress, or abnormal sleep cycles.
Right, now Officer Charles tell me that's how they torture you in the military. They know that when you deal with a level of sleep paralysis, that what they'll do, they'll play music, they'll keep the room cold, and they'll keep you up for days and days at a time. And then this guy they kept up, Officer Charles sent me this video, and they kept him up, and they were showing that he was floating off his bed. because the spirits were dealing with him through a sleep paralysis, and because he was lacking in rest, the demons are a portal. He was used as a tool to manifest spirits through, and that's what they practice in the military with these secret black op programs, sleep deprivation, food deprivation. Just they don't give you nothing, and they just keep you awake for days and days at a time to where you're just overcome with these spirits. And then they'll bring you back and they let you be an MK Ultra type of character, to where at any given point through a sound, a word, a picture, or numbers, you'll click into and become an assassin or a killer or whatever they need for your objective to be. Go ahead, officer.
Yes, sir. The underlying mechanism is believed to involve dysfunction in REM sleep. Diagnosis is based on a person's description. Other conditions that can presently similarly include narcolepsy, atonic seizures, and hypokalemic periodic paralysis. Treatment options for sleep paralysis have been poorly studied. People should generally be reassured that the condition is common and not serious. Other efforts that may be tried including sleep hygiene, cognitive behavioral therapy, and antidepressants.
Right. But if you have a problem with sleeping, one thing about church is it's like no-dos. You can come to church and people go to sleep like that. So the key is, if I can't sleep, let me pray. Start praying and see how fast the devil knock your lights out.
You pick up that Bible.
Man, right, exactly, man. As soon as
Chapter 1.
in the beginning, boom. Bible got slob on, it's all on the floor. Try it out. You ain't got to take those pills to try to knock yourself out. Grab that book and read. And the thing about it is, our mind is always rotating on issues and problems and things that we can't resolve. Turn your mind off. If that don't work, grab that Bible. That's why they used to tell you when you was young, count sheep. So you take your mind off the toil of the day, and that 1 sheep, 2 sheep, you're breaking your mind down to let go of all those different things. But if you go to bed and you got all the stress in the world on your heart, your mind is never going to calm down enough for you to get you rest. And you be dead tired, but your mind is running. You're trying to resolve things that you're not patient with. Let the Most High, He's trying to get you to go to sleep so He can speak to you in your dreams so you can resolve the issue. That's when the Most High deals with a lot of us, in your dreams and in your sleep. That's why when you wake up, a lot of times, when you get stressed out, let me take a nap. Let me lay down for a little while. And the Most High will reveal exactly the steps you need to take. Now it's up to you to hearken unto His voice or to really take the information and use it to resolve your issue. Go ahead, officer.
Yes, sir. This is a big problem that many go through in secret, yet no one seems to have real solutions. The reason is because it's not an internal thing that can be cured just with a pill, although the medical world puts out information about it as it is a thing we should become comfortable with. Notice it never mentions the other theory that it's demonic. Aliens are more readily discussed than our demons, which we get rid of. What should we really do if these things are happening?
Right, and also understand this. The word alien in the Greek means angel. See, so they don't even have to say angels. I know it is when they use the word aliens. Because men is well aware creation is on this earth. The earth is the center of the universe. That's why from the earth you can see everything. If we was in a corner, shouldn't there be a black spot behind us somewhere? But you can 360 and see all the creation all around you. Because these watchers or angels are to bear witness of a greater power above all. So the earth is the center of all things. In the beginning, God created the heavens, the black stuff, and then the earth. And everything centered itself around that. Then He told the angels to go out and be the stars, and then created the sun and the moon. These things came after the creation of the earth. The earth is the center of all things. They try to play this role like, oh, the earth is some little small ball in the corner. Well, why is the Most High is concerned with us then? So immediately, right away with us, if there's so much creation out there, they know better. That's why they got those telescopes out there. That's why they got the weapons of war out there. And that's why they're looking at Orion's belt in those different directions, because that's the direction Satan was held. So we're like, hey, keep an eye in that direction, because when Christ come back, that's the area He's going to split and come through. Satan is not stupid. He knows sort of what the plan is because he knows the direction he was hailed from. So he knows that Christ is going to return in that direction. All right, officer?
Yes, sir. And I was watching a documentary before I was in the truth. I used to watch a lot of alien, like UFO things. And there was this guy who was a Christian, and he was saying that if you notice, say you look at a place that's haunted, everything starts shaking, the screws start coming out the wall. And then he said, you notice when the UFOs come, the wall, everything starts to shake, the screws start getting unhinged. He said the same guys that are running the UFOs are running these demons. So
exactly.
That's where they were putting together that UFOs are not coming from distant locations. This is part of that.
Right.
In addition, if you fly all the way from Orion or Jupiter or Mars or another galaxy, what happens when you get to Earth? Like, oh, well, we have a transmission issues.
Right.
Like, why is the Earth the crashing spot for these guys? They travel millions of years and they get to Earth. Like,
right.
y'all done put any gas in this thing?
Right. All right, it's so funny. They always crashing in deserts.
Right.
And places that people are. Why can't a UFO hit a building in New York?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or just land on the lawn of the White House? Because
Oh, AAA, they're in Earth again.
Right, exactly. We get to Earth, we travel through the universe, and then Earth, we just can't get through this atmosphere.
Can we skip around Earth? We always seem to crash in the desert.
Right. It's madness, but it's funny that they always over military bases.
Right. That's the military's test pilots crashing.
Exactly.
The worst engineer.
It should be like a talented leg that shall fall into the earth, and it should be on her base, and this is wickedness. So when you go into Zechariah 5, in verse 8 all the way down, it's telling you who controls the Ufa, what its purpose is, and you're going to be destroyed on that side of it. So all the people that's running thinking that these are aliens and that they're coming in peace to give man technology, that's not what they're here for. These demons are here to devour and to destroy. And if you're deceived by their technology through HARP and Project Bluebeam and all the other projects they got, the LRC, the Large High, if you fall for that madness and be deceived, the Bible tells us everything that's going to happen going forward. I don't need to look at, I like the shows for entertainment, but I already know what's going to happen. He loses. Period. You know when you watch Rocky, he going to lose the first one, but in the second fight, he what? He wins. Right. So you got to understand that this is what's going on here. They lose, no matter what schemes they bring forward. Officer.
Yes, sir. Access to situation. Take a second and with an unbiased view, ask yourself, are these things in your life what you covered after? Are you continuing to lust and allow your mind to drift into sinful thoughts without shutting them down? Are you leaving the door open to demons through unhealthy spiritual habits that you hide, like adult films or so-called recreational drugs? And I just want to add something. Like, I'm kind of a car guy, so I'm like in this car forum. And it started out, classic cars. And it was classic cars with some women. And then notice, like, anytime I get the email, the women have less clothes. So I was like, you know what, let me get off this. But that's how they target on the internet to get you to run astray. And if you're not strong, you don't know what to look out for, you get sucked into it.
Right. It starts off innocent, but it always leads into debauchery. Okay.
Are you leaving the door open to demons through unhealthy spiritual habits you hide, like adult films and so-called recreational drugs? Are you still in the midst of outright sin, making excuses like, I'm just not ready to change yet, but I will get there? Are you comfortable in being part of an overly emotional situation and having formed a bit of a need to feel that adrenaline associated with them?
Right, and it said, are you comfortable in the beginning of part of overly emotional situations? Mm-hmm. We have to make sure that we're not letting our emotions cloud our thinking. And a lot of times we do. We get overly emotional, sad, angry, or whatever, and we can't see the forest, the trees because of the forest, because we're so big and looking at the totality of the issue and bringing up an emotional response. A lot of times we need to pull back or shut it down so we can control our emotions and then come back to the issue. Because a lot of times, in the heat of arguments, emotionally, we say things we readily don't mean. And we finding ourselves recanting and coming back and trying to make peace with a brother and sister. Like, I didn't really mean that. And they're offended because, like, yeah, I know you're saying you didn't mean it, but you said it with so much compassion and conviction, I'm not sure. So then now it's hard to accept an apology. Now it's hard to see through certain things because our emotions are so railed up in us. We said it in a way that really hurts someone's feelings. And feelings are weird things. They just don't get fixed just because you say you're sorry.
Right.
There's a healing process. When you got a scab, you rip it off. The scab don't come right back on it right after you rip it off. It takes time for the blood to come out and dry and form another scab over it for protection. So we have to recognize that even though we made amends with a brother and sister, that doesn't really mean that the pain goes away with it.
As a West Indian phrase, it's one cut, twice shot.
Right.
So if somebody hurt your feelings, now they kind of know you. Now they're kind of looking at you funny.
Right. And that's just human nature. Yes, we all wish we was like Christ as we've been nailed up and saying forgive him for what we do. But we're striving to be like Christ. So there's a level of humanity with us that we must expect that when we do damage, there's going to be side results. And we have to be patient and long-suffering, understand that it's going to take a minute for that person to trust me again, even though they have forgiven me. So we have to be patient with that, because if someone did it to us, we'd be the same way. But then when we do it to somebody else, we expect them to take our apology and be happy with it.
Right.
And I do that with my wife sometimes. I'm like, baby, I'm sorry. And she's like, yeah, there's no expect me to be all buddy with you right after you offended me. And I'm like, you're right, I got to give you a minute to get that together. I was wrong in what I did, and I got to be patient. I couldn't expect you just to love me the same way you was doing a minute ago when I offended you. But I'm going to make sure I clear it up right away so you can see I'm genuine in it. Believe me, I buy a lot of makeup gifts around here that y'all don't know about. Shit, I buy a lot of men. That's why I'm glad I'm a barber some days. Let me go get these flowers real quick, because I was real wrong last night. You know, flowers go a long way, bro. When last time y'all bought flowers? Yesterday. I know you. Yeah, you came and hollered at me. I know you too.
There you go.
Y'all better get down to Walmart or they only $9 for a dozen. She don't know that. She do now, but she did that first.
Blew it, bro.
Right? I go wipe the
All right,
sand.
stop talking. If you answered yes to any of these problems, then you should now understand 9 chances out of 10 why you have been attacked in your sleep. These demons are allowed to attack us at times to really straighten us out, but the moment we begin to stop our own wickedness, they are no longer powerful in our lives. There is no magic pill to stop these experiences, what causes the stopping of things is the overcoming of your carnal mind through choosing righteousness, which is found through keeping the commandments under Christ. If the Bible said to do it, then you must follow through to receive deliverance.
Right. The Bible, yes. If the Bible say fast and pray to cast out these demons, you must fast and pray to cast out these demons. No other way around it. You're not going to be able to take a pill. You're not going to be able to read scripture after scripture. There's an action, a sacrifice that must be made, because you endured and let them come in, then there must be a sacrifice to get them out. That's how it works. The Most High is just not going to cast out the spirit because you say so. You let that spirit in. You work that spirit out. Then you come back to the Most High and repent and say, I'm sorry. We all want the Most High. We want to get dirty, but then we want the Most High to shower us. No, you go take a shower. Get yourself clean. Then come back and present yourself a living sacrifice. Don't start something to ask somebody. And that's what we do. We start something and want somebody else to finish it. No, you start it, you fix it, then you come back to the Most High. That's how He operates. So when He forgive you, you're not doing it again. Because if He make it easy to resolve it, then you'll go, oh, He resolved it for me. I'm going to do it again so He don't resolve it again. No, you fix it first. Then come back to Him. All right? Let's go into Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18, verse 11. Amen? All right, officer. Why not? I'm sorry, sir.
Verse 11. The master and the servant were punished after one manner, and like as the king, so suffered the common person. Verse 12. So they altogether had innumerable dead with one kind of death, neither were the living sufficient to bury them, for in one moment the noblest offspring of them was destroyed. Verse 13. For whereas they would not believe anything by reason of the enchantments upon the destruction of the firstborn, they acknowledged this people to be the sons of the Most High. Verse 14. for while all things were in quiet silence, and that night was in the midst of her swift course. Verse 15. Thine almighty word leapt down from heaven out of thy royal throne as a fierce man of war into the midst of a land of destruction. Verse 16. And brought thine unfeigned commandment as a sharp sword, and standing up filled all things with death, and it touched the heaven, but it stood upon the earth. Verse 17. Then suddenly visions of horrible dreams troubled them sore, and terrors came upon them unlooked for. Verse 18. For one throweth here, another there, half dead, showed the cause of his death. Verse 19. For the dreams that troubled them did foreshow this, lest they should perish and not know why they were afflicted. Verse 20. Yea, the tasting of death touched the righteous also, and there was a destruction of the multitude in the wilderness, but the wrath endured not long. Verse 21. For then the blameless man made haste and stood forth to defend them, and bringing the shield of his proper ministry, even prayer and propitiation of incense, set himself against the wrath, and so brought the calamity to an end, declaring that he was thy servant. Verse 22. So he overcame the destroyer, not with strength of body nor force of arms, but with a word subdued he him that punished, alleging the oaths and covenants made with the fathers. Verse 23. For when the dead were now fallen down by heaps, one upon another, standing between, he stayed the wrath and parted the way to the living. Verse 24. For in the long garment was the whole world, and in the 4 rows of the stones was the glory of the fathers graven, and the majesty upon the diadem of his head. Verse 25. Unto these the destroyer gave place, and was afraid of them, for it was enough that they only tasted of the wrath.
Awesome.
So, like the Egyptians during the first Exodus experienced horrible visions and dreams, we receive them today as a warning and foreshadowing of our own destruction to come if we do not repent. The Father promised that we would receive all the plagues of Egypt, yet the demonic attacks are seldom spoken of. There were evil spirits which were also released on the people of that time, and it took a righteous man to deliver the rest through prayer and fasting, who were found worthy to survive it. It also said that the righteous even were touched by death in the wilderness. Think about it. Aaron's son died for their wickedness, so that shows no partiality with the Father. It tells you furthermore that the destroyer was afraid of the righteous. We must change.
Right. And Aaron's son's the one that brought a strange fire to the temple. It didn't say what it was, it just said it was a strange fire. So whatever it was a high level of science. And the Most High destroyed them on the spot for bringing a strange fire or magic or science to the temple. See, we must operate with the way the Most High showed us to operate. That's why he's going to destroy this whole system and take you all the way back down to where you were when we were in the wilderness. All these electronic cell phones and all this stuff, it's going to cut off and cut off permanently, at least for us. Now, the 10 horns that's going to operate with Lucifer, that's going to give their power to the beast, yes, they're going to still be operating on the sci-fi side of things, but it's going to fall short. No weapon formed on earth can harm us. So all this sci-fi and stuff that they're putting together, and they show you in Terminator and all these different movies of how the system is going to fall upon itself. They really give you an eye on it through the Matrix. They tell you straight up, Zion is going to be destroyed. That the technology is after to destroy that little village of Zion. So they're telling you, even in their movies, that at the end of this, all of this science is put together for your destruction. All right? So we have to recognize that. Let's go into these scriptures here, Deuteronomy 28. I love Deuteronomy. And 27 through 29.
Verse 27. And the Most High will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch. Wherefore thou canst not be healed. Verse 28. The Most High shall smite thee with madness.
Man, we got that one good. Go ahead.
And blindness, and astonishment of heart.
Astonishment of heart is you can't believe what's going on to our people in this community. We're watching on camera how men are running from the police, are being shot in the back, and no one's going to jail. We're reading about how drugs are coming from Cuba and other parts of the world are concentrated in our community, and we don't have trucks or boats or planes. All these guns in our community, but ain't nobody got no jobs or no money.
And every time they show drug dealers on TV, what color are they?
Right, the brothers. But the main drug dealers are the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. Shoot, the queen made her wealth off opium sales and slave trade. It's always funny how when wickedness is being portrayed on the earth, it's the black man in the forefront.
Crooked cops on the movies.
Right.
Denzel
Washington. All these crooked cops are shooting brothers in the back, but it's Denzel Washington that's doing the bad work.
Right.
It's trying to pay off the Russian mafia. What does the Russians have in the mafia? And we don't have a black mafia, but the Russians got one together. Let you know that there's no separation between
Biggie
them.
Smalls, they had that junior mafia.
I wouldn't sign up for that junior. It's junior mafia. It's in the name. Well, underneath somebody junior. But ain't that weird? How can the Russians have a mafia in the United States? Because they're kin, and they know they're kin. They argue in front of TV, in front of you, but behind closed doors, their families are marrying into each other. Don't get that twisted. That's all the scam. That's all for show. All right? Okay. Yeah, I guess so. Amber Alert, somebody missing.
They're gonna use that against us
all day. No, not against us. They got listen. It ain't Amber is not a black name, and I'm not throwing that out there.
No, what I'm saying is they're gonna use that when they say, "Well, we're gonna start demonizing people as terrorists." Then they say, "Oh, Deacon Greg."
Right. Amber Alert, get him. You see.
Right.
And a reward gonna come.
That's how it's gonna work. That's why these things are always set in place where it's an innocent thing. Oh, we're trying to save the children, but then they can just throw up a name in the face of the story, and next minute you're up, your face is on it.
But there'll never be a Tamika alert. You'll never get Tamika's alert. Yeah, Tamika just missing. We ain't seen. Y'all seen Tamika? We got to spread our own alerts word of mouth.
I've seen Tamika.
Yeah, no, we got to text to find Tamika. They not going to have nothing on TV for you. Ever. There's over 1 million black people missing in the United States yearly. Have you seen any of them advertised? Anybody say there's an epidemic of missing black people? Remember that beautiful sister that they arrested and they let her go 3 in the morning and they've never seen her again? No even remains.
Sacrifice.
Right, but you finding dinosaurs underneath cliffs and rocks, but you can't find this sister.
They're still working cases from like the 70s in the middle of some Wyoming like forest.
Yes.
Becky was missing.
That's weird. They
Like
can't find
80 years old now. We just got the guy.
A comedian said, send student loan, send child support. They'll find us. They found me. My name ain't Earthquake. Remember that one? They found me. It's funny who they can find when they want to. They found Bin Laden in a hole. That was covered with dirt and everything. But they found him though. But man, it's funny who they want to find and who they don't want to find. They can't find Donald Trump linked to these Russians, but all his partners is Russians.
Right.
Hold on, what?
Right. That's just a distraction.
That's just a distraction. Don't fall for that, people. They don't care what Donald Trump doing, because if they care, they do something about it. He has breached the contract as president 1 billion times over. And yet, no, he's doing a great job. We all got money. So as long as we all rich, we can break the law.
Well, it was a setup, because without Obama, they wouldn't be Trump. Because the way they look at it, well, y'all had your time.
Right.
Because right before that, remember David Dukes ran for president. Oh no, nobody affiliated with the KKK. We don't want nothing to do with them. Now it's like, well, y'all had your time, so now we can go the complete opposite direction.
Right. Let's find the dumbest, richest guy that we can find that people sort of like.
Nobody likes him.
Care what they say. How can you be sued by the federal government for housing discrimination against minorities and become the president too? I thought you couldn't have a charge or a felony or anything like that to become president. That's what I thought. But apparently we were given one set of rules and they were given another set of rules.
Right.
But once again, I'm not mad at them. I'm mad at us.
Right.
We put ourselves in their hands. That's why we're in Deuteronomy 28,
Absolutely.
27 through 29. What verse we at?
29.
Yes, read 29 so we can see why it's our fault. Go ahead.
Verse 29, and thou shalt grope at noondays, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee.
Why is this happening to us? Because we disobeyed the power that we had. And because you disobeyed the power you had, you're going to obey a nation that cares nothing for you. And this is the outcome of a nation that cares nothing for you. That you put yourself in their hands. Because you want to worship Jesus and Allah and Buddha and Krishna. We want a king too. The nations got kings. We asked for slavery. We asked for the bondage. The Most High said, I'm your king. You don't need a king. I'm your king. What's greater than me? No. We need a king that we can worship and honor and subject ourselves to. Because a king will need protection, servants, maids. We had the Most High as our king. All right, officer?
As we read in Jubilees, it was the demons that were destroying man with plagues as long as the Most High would allow it. The Egyptians also, at the end of all that went through literal darkness, yet today we are smitten just like they were and walk around as a byproduct of our curse in spiritual darkness.
And that spiritual darkness is we have no direction as a nation. We all just wandering about in every different direction in total darkness. Black folks have no clue on how to operate within the system. We don't understand the technical part of things. We don't understand the telecommunication parts of things. There's a few of us here and there that understands it, but they're linked up with Jewish people or other people like that. But as a nation, we're totally in the dark when it comes to things. The only things we find out is what we find out on the news. No one has an insight on what's going on. That's why the Most High said, I shall send an ambassador amongst the heathens. Because y'all going to be in the dark when it comes to the systems that's in place for your destruction. See, you can't be in a Mason, not the real Masons. You can be a Prince Hall Mason,
Right.
which is just the janitor side of the game. Go read about Prince. He's a janitor. And because he knew their secrets, they made him an honorary Mason. Prince Hall Masons. You can't be a real Mason. Real Masons are trying to cut your head off.
Wow.
See? That's why you're Shriners.
The Scottish Rites.
Right. You can't be of the Scottish Rites and the Scottish and the York Rites. York is for the royal bloodline. The Irish is exactly what they are, the Irish. Ain't no brothers in that. It's funny that brothers want to be Masons, don't even understand it. You're low level. Prince Hall was a janitor. Read upon him. He's a janitor. And because he knew their secrets, they made him honorary Masonic. And it's sad because it's Moorish magic. It's all Moorish magic from the inception. That's why you got the checkered floor, obelisk, the all-seeing eye with the pyramid. That all comes from Babylon. It's Babylonian Moorish magic. Sillies. Officer.
Yes, sir. Okay. So the reasonable demonic influence has been addressed that we can see, like diseases and so-called sleep apnea. But what about witness full-on possession? If you are in the midst of a situation where someone is actively possessed, there needs to be questions asked that may be uncomfortable. Were drugs involved?
Right.
Is there sin of other sorts within the present location that may have been accessed to bring on this episode?
Right, because you have to open up yourself to this demonic expression or these spirits. They're just not coming out of the blue. They see weakness in your armor and then they attack. That's why the Bible says, have on the full armor of God, or the Most High. Go ahead, officer.
Yes, sir. Is there abuse which has transpired, whether currently or previously, and is that particular abuser still around? If this is so, are their spiritual practices different from the doctrine of Christ, including idols of some sort being used by this person?
Right, and that's the whole other thing. That's why the Most High said, hot or cold, shoot, because lukewarm, I spit you out. You can't walk with us and then walk with Christianity and then back walking with us, because you're going to open up yourself to demons when you jump on that other side. And when that spirit is saying that you have access to righteousness, but you're still playing with Jesus, they're going to infiltrate you, and then you're going to bring that wicked spirit into the congregation of the people. You cannot serve two masters. You can't be Yeshua with us and Jesus with them.
Right.
You know, it's one thing that if you're on the outside and you're witnessing and you use the word Jesus for lack of a better word, understanding, because we know the world isn't privy to the higher knowledge that we're dealing with. But I'm talking about operating with people and using Jesus as who you think is your Savior. Because people got this misunderstanding that Jesus translates to Yeshua.
Right.
No. Jesus is Zeus, brother. That's what the Spanish was worshiping when they came here. They wasn't worshiping the God of Israel. So they wasn't going to bring us the God of Israel's name. They tell you the name is sacred, you can't call it. But the scripture said, he who calleth on my name shall be saved. So they're lying to you from the beginning. And they tell you they never gave you the real name of the Most High. They told you that we didn't give you the name of the Most High. It's sacred, you're not supposed to call it. So what name did you give us? Oh, we gave us Zeus' name, so y'all can deal with that for a little while. Till y'all destroy, and then we'll bring revelation. They'll never bring the truth. You were a liar from the beginning. Go ahead, officer.
Yes. These are just examples of things to examine in order to be able to fight back against the spirits which are present during a real possession. If you understand the soldiers on the battlefield warring against you, then you can formulate a plan to attack and overcome them. Let's look at a tried and true weapon against these demons, and we're going to go into Mark 9 and 17.
All right, amen, when you have it. All right, quiet now, whenever you're ready.
Verse 17. And one of the multitude, Salakia, this is Mark chapter 9, verse 17. And one of the multitude answered and said, Master, I have brought unto thee my son, which have a dumb spirit. Verse 18. And whithersoever he taketh him, he teareth him, and foameth, and gnasheth with his teeth, and pineth away. And I spake to thy disciples that they should cast him out, and they could not. Verse 19, and he answered him and said, O faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him unto me.
Right. So what Christ is getting ready to set them up is, how long have I been with you? You guys haven't figured this out yet? Go ahead.
Verse 19, he answered him, Salakia, verse 20, and they brought him unto him. And when he saw him, straightway the spirit tear him, and he fell on the ground and wallowed foaming.
Right, so the spirit was trying to get in his last licks before he knew that he was going to be cast out of this young man's body. So a lot of times too, right before the healing comes, it's going to be some of the darkest and worst torment. So a lot of times when people are coming to get this prayer and try to operate or try to fast, that spirit is going to a lot of times make us sick, give us headaches. You know what I'm saying? Make us start arguments with family members so we don't continue on our fast. We have to make sure that we know there's something operating with us, and we have to put all malice aside and do what was ordered of us to do to cast out this spirit. Go ahead.
And faithless is G571. And it's disbelieving, i.e. a negative particle without faith, specifically a heathen, untrustworthy person, or incredible thing that believeth not, faithless, infidel, unbeliever.
Exactly. Faceless. What it said?
Faithless.
Yes, faceless. What was the term they had? They had heathen.
Oh,
Right. You're a heathen if you don't believe. And it didn't separate the nations. If you're an Israelite, you don't believe, you're a heathen. Remember, there was a time we were a Gentile state of mind. You can be considered a Gentile without belief in this truth and knowledge. Most of the world is Gentile. Remember, there's black people on the police force that allow the other people on the police force to conduct themselves and do what they do. A perfect scene is in Straight Outta Compton, when they got the scene where they're making Ice Cube and all of them lay on the ground, and it's the black officer that was the muscle.
Oh, Boys in the Hood?
Yeah, and Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
Oh, you bad boy. You know, it's like a man said, listen, if you're a police officer and you see what your common police officers do and you sit in silence, you might as well be with them. You're one of them. How can you be a brother seeing what the other officers are doing to your brothers? Why? Because you don't live in our community? Because they pay you a little bit better and you think you're above us?
Because they hate themselves.
Right, and that's what's going on with Kanye. You got so rich, brother, that your plateau has let you look down on your brothers and make rash decisions.
Bill Cosby had the same.
Him too, and that's why they breaking him over the coals. They get this, they get this money, then get puffed up and oh, y'all need to get where I'm at. How does that work? They picked you to be famous because really, what do Bill Cosby do well? Yeah, making sounds and faces. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the Fat Albert cartoon, but come on now. Right, he was beatboxing before it was beatboxing. Okay, all right. How do you become a multi-billionaire over that unless you took a part of this deal? Because they put you in position and knowing that you would tear your people down one day. How can you be so educated at Morehouse and funded to all these colleges, but don't see the plight of your people?
I thought he went to Hillman.
Yeah, he donated to Morehouse. He went to Morehouse. One is a girl, one is a boy. Yeah, I got it. But that's the whole point. You highly educated, but you can't see the destruction of your people. But it's your fault.
Right.
No, ain't no discrimination. You just gotta, lift yourself up by your bootstraps. And then what they do, burn down your cities.
Mm-hmm.
Tulsa, Oklahoma. What they do, shoot your leaders in the face, Martin Luther King. But no, y'all just ain't working hard enough. Y'all lazy. I saw, who sent me that video? You sent me that? It was so funny. The brothers, we got a call line. Y'all don't think we do, but we do. And it's so funny. I looked at this video where they was giving stats on how that nations feel about black people. And you happen to watch it. And I just happened to finish it. He sent it to me. And it's just, they have no compassion. They don't want to be equal. They don't want you in their neighborhoods. And I don't want to be in their neighborhoods.
Right.
You understand? Martin Luther King was trying to do a good thing. But when he said we all should come together, we let their wickedness come into our neighborhoods. See, we just weren't bringing commerce. When the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devil. So that sacrifice to devils is now in your neighborhood. Now you got brothers with 6'9" on their forehead and upside down crosses. I'm like, brother, what job you gonna get?
No, the brothers ain't working.
Man, they ain't trying to work barbed wire tattooed around your face. I wouldn't hire you if I had a job. And I'm a brother, and I love black people. But you're not working for me. Big old holes in their ears, looking foolish. And I'm like, come on, when did we start doing that? When did we want to be recognized with the Gentiles? When did that start to happen? I thought being black was being opposite on the outside of the company. That's why the Muslims don't wear neckties. They want to wear bow ties because the necktie resembled the noose that was on the brother's neck. So we always made sure that don't worry about it. We was always...
I didn't know that.
yeah, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. But it's just a state of mind of what they were trying to present. Because just because you changed your tie didn't mean they were going to stop hanging us.
Right. Plenty of people hung with suits on.
Right. It's tons of them. But we don't want to get you far off the mark. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 21.
Yes, sir.
And he asked his father, how long is it ago since this came unto him? And he said, of a child. Verse 22. And oftentimes it have cast him into the fire and into the waters to destroy him. But if thou canst do anything, have compassion on us and help us.
Right. That's why when I hear people committing suicide, I let them know that wasn't that person. It's just they had been so deep in that sin and depressed state that the Spirit convinced them that they're better off not being here. The Spirit ain't telling them about the judgment that's on the other side. It just say, you know what, you'll get a lot of attention and everybody will show you love, If you kill yourself, you know what, yeah, that's the attention I want. Then they kill themselves and realize you don't get to see none of that. Your judgment is getting ready to come to you, brother, sister. That's what the demon is there for, to destroy that vessel so it can go to the next vessel and complete the same function. Go ahead.
Verse 23, Yeshua said unto him, if thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. Verse 24, and straightway the father of the child cried out and said with tears, Lord, I believe, help thou mine unto unbelief. Salakia. Verse 25, when Yeshua saw that the people came running together, he rebuked the foul spirit, saying unto him, thou dumb and deaf spirit, I charge thee, come out of him, and enter no more into him.
Right, so the Most High not only cast him out, but gave a decree, and don't come back to him. Because that's the problem. The Most High cures and heals us of things, and then we open ourselves right back up to that same spirit. We have to make sure that when the Most High breaks us of something, or cures us, or fixes us away from something, that we abstain from it continuously till his return. Because if we open it back up to it, that spirit's going to come back 7 times more powerful with comrades. And then now the state of the man is worse off than it was before. Go ahead. Why not?
Verse 26, and the spirit cried and rent him sore and came out of him, and he was as one dead. And so much that many said, he is dead. Verse 27, but Yeshua took him by the hand and lifted him up, and he arose. Verse 28, and when he was come into the house, his disciples asked him privately, why could not we cast him out?
Right, Most High of Christ, we've been doing these miracles with you. Why couldn't we do this particular demon? What's going on? Are we lacking in something? Go ahead.
Verse 29, and he said unto them, this kind can come forth by nothing, but by prayer and fasting.
There you go. That's the key. Christ was teaching them that they must pray and fast to develop their own strength and power to cast out these spirits, because one day Christ was going to leave. And they needed to have the ability on their own, or how to draw the power. You draw the power through fasting and prayer, through supplication to the Most High, being obedient and listening to his words. Then you develop a power within Christ. Because when that flesh gets weak, the Most High voice gets louder. And then now you're able to operate. And now you're developing a relationship between you and the Most High, that when you cast out a spirit, you're given authority by obedience. Authority only comes through obedience. If you're disobedient, you're not going to get any authority, because nobody can trust you because you don't know how to follow orders. Military. You think you're going to go, if you're in the military, you don't follow orders, you think you're going to be a general? No. Matter of fact, you're going to get, what's the word, court-martial. Right. You got to follow orders to go higher up in the rankings. That's just how it is. So if that's what the world requires, what do you think the Most High is going to require? So if you want this power, you must be obedient and operate with fasting and prayer to develop this power to cast out these spirits. Officer.
If you connect both accounts in Mark and Matthew, Yeshua called the generation of that time perverse and faithless. If that generation was perverse, how much more do we need to clean our lives up and pull off true casting out of spirits? Casting out demons is not something just to play around with and hope the spirits leave. It is a serious matter which the powers to do will come by our discipline in the spirit. The disciples had cast out spirits before, but But there are more powerful spirits which have attached themselves to a person, which have been with them their whole life, which we also have to contend with. Understanding this matter of how it uses a person and its nature is also key to our breakthrough. This also proves that full disclosure must occur for a spirit to truly be cast forth.
Exactly. I like this part. He said these spirits have been with us our full lives, and we think It's part of us. I just got a bad temper. No, you don't. You got a demon. You know, I don't know how to be happy. Right, because you won't let go of that demon and you're holding on to issues with your brothers and sisters. Listen, the weight of your soul or your heart will be weighed on how you feel against your brothers and sisters. The Bible Most High said, I'm going to search the hearts of men. And if you got an issue with a brother and sister in your heart and you won't let it go, he's going to judge you, and your heart is going to judge you according to what you feel against your brothers and sisters. So the reason you can't get happy, the reason you can't feel the love of the congregation or the body, because you're holding on to something that you need to let go. You need to exercise that spirit that's holding your spiritual walk with Christ back. Let it loose, let it go, because it's only hurting you. Because the person you got to opt with can care less. They're going to sleep good at night. They're going to go eat. They ain't going to have a loss of appetite because don't nobody care about their enemies not liking them. Who cares? Oh, he don't like me, so he'll get over it. Nobody care about that. And if you sit and live, if you still mad at something that happened to you back in 1984, you still mentally back in 1984. I remember when my little brother stole my socks. When I catch him, brother, you're 35 years old. You worried about socks you can't even wear no more? And we'll do that. We'll hold on grudges.
So long you forgot what the grudge was, but you're still mad.
I'm still mad. What am I mad at him about? It don't matter. I'm still mad though.
Don't matter.
I'm still mad. I gave Brother Troy $100 a year ago. I ain't seen none of that money back. And mad. Brother, that's gone. Let that be. I didn't do it. I'm just using that as an example. But
Troy, give us money.
Right. you know. You know what I'm saying? We holding on to that nonsense. How many times the Most High will bless you with that $100 again? Over and over again.
But it didn't come from Troy.
It did, right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm mad.
You got money.
Let it go. The Most High has blessed us tremendously every day. The Most High need to come and give us some bill for air and water. Right? Pay me what you owe me now. Since you want Brother Troy to pay you, pay me. I don't got this type of money. I've been breathing air since I've been born.
Don't get it wrong.
Right.
Pay the man.
Right. Now, if your brother, that's why I got a rule with it. If you can take it all, if you want to. I only give what I want to lose.
Right.
So if you don't give it back, I don't feel no type of way. Because I'm not going to give you my rent money.
But you ain't getting anything on top of that.
Right. Right. I'm not getting none that I don't feel comfortable with. Because I don't want to be mad at you when you don't pay it back. I don't worry about it. Big deal. I gave you what I was comfortable with.
Just don't ask me for another loan.
Right. Oh, that's done. We can't operate financially no more. That part of our relationship is over with.
Yeah.
But I don't
We
have
still
to.
bored.
Yeah, we still cool. Yes, that part of our relationship can't exercise in that till you do what's right. And then even when you pay me back, if it's been a deliberate amount of time, I'm still gonna hold back about operating with you in that way. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice,
Shame on me.
you got me already. So if you get me again, it's on me now. I have no excuse. Yes, sir. Let's finish this second headers.
Got started.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Slack. All right, you ready to go?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, let's go.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 2, verse 38. Arise up and stand. Behold, the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Most High. Verse 39. Which are departed from the shadow of the world and have received glorious garments of the Most High. Verse 40. Take thy number, O Zion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of the Most High. Verse 41. The number of thy children whom thou longest for is fulfilled, beseech the power of the Most High, that thou people which have been called from the beginning may be hallowed. Verse 42. I, Esdras, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praised the Most High with songs. Verse 43. And in the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. Verse 44. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? Verse 45. He answered and said unto me, these be they that have put off the mortal clothing, and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now are they crowned and receive palms.
Right. That's how you know you're walking in the truth. We're going to confess Ahaya. We ain't walking around with God in our mouth. We're going to confess the name of the Most High. Right? And now they are crowned and receive palms. That's going to be your reward for standing for the name through thick and thin. Go ahead.
Verse 46. Then said I unto the angel, what young person is it that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? Verse 47. So he answered and said unto me, it is the Son of the Most High.
Right. They used to try to say that the Apocrypha was not spiritual inclined because Christ is not in it. Here's Christ right here and described. This is the old, Second Esdras is the Old Testament. It's not New Testament. This didn't come after Christ. This came before Christ. So even Esdras knew Christ will be the intercessor and be giving out the rewards and crowns. Go ahead.
Whom they have confessed in the world.
Right. We confess Yeshua in the world to all men. Whether they hear it or forbear it, we're going to confess it. So we don't receive the reward of the Most High. Go ahead.
Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Most High.
We stand stiffly for the name of the Most High. We will never compromise the truth. Because everything else is a lie. Officer.
Yes, sir. Before I start, let's make an effort to get here on time. You know, this is the one day you have to honor the Most High. It doesn't ask for much. And when you need His blessings, you need it on time. All right. Stand in this evil day and overcome your weaknesses. Through purity, we will cast out serpents and obtain the day of promise in which we will be rewarded. Believe and conquer all, lack faith, and be conquered by all. Shalom.
Shalom. And that's our lesson for today. I like that one. That was a great lesson.